had was, it's kind of what Liam was saying, is a positioning. I've got a SaaS client. I'm doing lead gen as my primary downselling to SaaS, just because that's the easiest way to physically do it yourself. Facebook ads is how I get it. And I do insurance agents. So I have one guy, but I'm finding that I'm almost still doing what I'm doing for lead gen for a less cost. I guess my question is, with someone who doesn't have any experience running ads, but wants to do it themselves, of course I can teach them, but optimizing, you can't teach overnight. Having the skill set that I have, you can't teach overnight. And I get that could eventually lead to an upsell later down the line. But I guess my question is, what's the best way to pitch and not oversell? For me, downsell, do-it-yourself Facebook ads, where I'm still kind of like, hey man, this is what we have. These are the templates that you get. But at the end of the day, this is, you said don't do too much autonomy, but it's that the whole idea is, I'm not getting paid the full amount. They don't want to pay me the full amount to handle it for them. Mm-hmm. And going in and, you know what I mean? I guess I don't know if my question's clear or not, but it's maybe a quarter of the price that I would charge for lead gen, if that makes sense, for me to do it.
Yeah. What niche are you in?
Insurance agents.
Yeah. Okay. So, it's kind of like the same thing with your ads and your sales copy, right? A good example is Frank Kern did a podcast. Like, he started a podcast maybe 5 years ago or something like that. And the title of the podcast was Your Next Million. Mm. Okay. And the reason he didn't say the Millionaires Podcast or anything like that is he wanted to appeal to people who had already made $1 million. Okay. So you have to understand that people in your niche already have an adopted set of ideas. They assume something about what it is that you do. By the way, even if you say, oh no, it's software. You can't re-educate by saying it's software. You have to re-educate by telling the story of the software, right? And if you've ever seen my webinar, how I sell UpHex, patient stream, I go through and I basically tell the story of how crappy it is to run that kind of agency. And then I go in and I say, we're really the only two things you need proven ad creative. That is the thing that you should be touting, right? Okay. You should be saying, we have a library of proven ads. You click them and they go. When you put the focus on, hey, you click the assets that we've created specifically for you, you click them, they go. Then they kind of draw the line. They say, okay, well, it's this. And then he has other stuff too, which I don't understand that yet. But I understand this. You can't sell two ideas at once.
Yeah. Okay? I guess my problem is I don't have the ad. I don't, some ads have been successful in certain areas and others haven't. So I run the risk of running an ad for them, or they run, I help them run their first ad. They don't get results, kind of like what Liam was saying. And then I'm back to the drawing board for my time, which is not the $1,000 a month. It's less, to create a new template or push a new template, change the lead form, because now it needs split testing, but they want to be satisfied. I mean, the whole idea is, yes, there's other things they can do with SaaS, but they were sold on do-it-yourself Facebook ads. So that's the thing. It's where, okay, well, I'm trying to still figure out how I can pitch this to where it's less them, hey, I need help with this, which I get comes with it, like if there's errors and stuff. But I guess I'm still trying. I guess I need to figure that out on maybe.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Your all of the feelings you're having, the frustration, all that kind of stuff, those are always symptoms. Those are indicative of something happening upstream. Yeah. If there's one thing that you could fix that might stop all of that, what do you think it is?
Better ads.
This isn't rocket science. Let me okay. But by the way, hold on. You're right. Hold on. You're right.
Yeah.
By the way, that is the exact right answer. So how do you get better ads?
Right. Well, I always split test, but I can't split. I'm not going to.
No, you're thinking like a technician. How do you get better ads?
No idea. Just try new ones.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, dude, hey, bro, by the way,
Yeah.
you're asking the same question that everyone else is afraid to ask. So like, kudos
Gotcha.
to you, like for real.
Okay.
Everybody else will look at and have the same kind of symptoms, meaning, oh, like they'll complain about all that stuff, but they won't ever say, my ads suck. I told you, UpHex will launch like shitty ads or awesome ads. It's up to you. All right. And we give you a template library, and I do these so I can tell the people who want to know, this is how you do it. Have you ever seen the video that I did? Is give me 30 minutes, I'll work a sales miracle in your agency?
No, I need that webinar on how you sell it. I'm gonna tag you in that, and I need to watch that too.
Okay. I posted about it yesterday. Okay. I posted about it yesterday, and I asked AI, I said, how do I sell my software? The first thing it did, point number one, AI proves Sam right again. Well, not again, but that time, is pick a target audience. In that video, I said, hey, you guys, this is why it's so important. In that video, I explained how when I was a mortgage broker, okay, I was promised all these deals from my friends. You know, I get in, they got no deals. And so here I am. I got a wife that's pregnant, and I am hamstrung. Okay. I'm host. And so my boss is telling me, well, to get deals, you got to go to real estate agents' offices. I'm a kid. I was 26. I'm like, I was 23 or 24. And I'm sitting there. Nobody wants to send me these deals. And so I pick up a real estate magazine. I'm flipping through this real estate magazine. And I remember looking at this magazine, Lacey Bishop, she's listing houses for like $1 million. This is back in 2003, 4, right? I'm like, $1 million in Idaho. Are you kidding me? I would love to. She's never going to send me those deals. I'm 23, 24, right? Same thing. And then boom, I open the page, and there is a lady named Christina McNeil. She's listing first-time home buyers. She's Hispanic. She speaks Spanish, and she works with first-time home buyers who speak Spanish. I speak Spanish. And so I called her up, and this was my pitch. Christina, I work with first-time home buyers, and I speak Spanish. I'm guessing that you get a lot of people who don't want to do these programs. I'm guessing you have to translate for these people. And I'm guessing you even have people who are probably willing to get approved right now, but nobody willing to help them. I would be happy to help anybody that you want. Boom, 5 deals. Boom, never had to go out and ask for another sell ever again. I became the god of selling by asking one question. Who am I helping? And is it narrow enough to where there's congruency? So if you're helping people in insurance, stay out of the insurance category and go down to the insurance sub niche. Okay. Start talking about veterans who need help with life insurance or financial planning. Start talking to, like, just get narrow, right? And if you need help, post your ideas into the Facebook group. Number one, if people post that kind of stuff in the Facebook group, dude, you want to get me to engage? I'll engage with that stuff. Some of my answers in the group are kind of pithy because I'm like, hey, I've talked about that stuff. I got content about that stuff. Here's an answer. Go find it there. I'm happy to help. But if you ask a question like that, oh, you want to engage me? Hey, I've got this ad idea. Here's some of my ad copy. What do you think? I'll engage with that all day, every day.
Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds like I need to continue to develop my skill set first before I reposition, and go, more SaaS, because I can't automate something that is still questionable on whether it works or not. So,
just get more narrow.
Yeah.
And in the interim, like the shortcut, reach out to ad zombies. They can help you write stuff. They can help you create stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're starting with a narrow enough person.
Ad zombies. I purchased one, and so I pushed that to him, and he's running it. So we'll see.
And by the way, you only need like 5 or 6 templates. Don't get crazy.
Yeah.
5 or 6 templates. You're good to go.
Cool.
Good question,
Thanks,
dude.
Appreciate it, man.
That's a great question. All right. John, what's up?
Hey, Sam. Thanks for doing these things. It's all great. So yeah, we're running the same problems that a lot of people have. Broke people, bad messaging on the front end. But I'm kicking around the idea of whether to do the SaaS plus upgrade to have lead gen, or if I should package starting there and downsell, like the gentleman before was asking. What's your recommendation there?
I want to answer your first question. Why are you getting broke people?
No, because my guy's running an offer that I think it's too good to be true. He was running some ads to our niche, something to the effect of get appointments, pay afterwards, that kind of messaging. I didn't touch it. It was just, he ran with it. And
what's the niche that you're in?
Solar.
Okay. Is it okay if I answer that question first? Because it will probably help the other question.
By all means.
Like a lot of times, like you can only grow to the point of your like nearest constraint. Okay. And if your offers, if what you're doing, if those like that will shape the rest of the business. All right. When I had that case study back in like 2018 or whatever, which just kind of pisses me off, you know, when they changed it from Facebook Business to Meta, they removed it. I clicked on it like a month ago. I was like, dude, you took my case study down. Luckily I have like Jacob has a placard. Anyway, it doesn't matter. When they published that case study, we were running 3 different kinds of campaigns. And to save time, basically the gist was we had 2 of them that were like commodities. And then the third one was more niche and more specialized. And then the commodities, the commodities would get leads, fine. But the specialized is where all the revenue is coming. Okay. And so here's a couple of phrases to live by. Assumptions are the enemies of conversions. If they assume that what your ad says, that what you're doing, that the guy next to you that does the same thing you do can do the exact same thing, then all of a sudden, what is the only thing you can compete on?
Price.
There you go. All right. So you have to decommoditize that thing. All right. Or you have to approach the conversation in a different way. Right. So that's why I came up with that thing called the qualified lead formula. So in my niche, I pair up a couple of things. I pair up 3 things: a niche audience, okay, a threshold price, and then a qualified offer. And the qualified offer falls into 2 categories: either a test drive offer or a self-discovery offer. Which that was a question for the gal who asked in the group, Hazel Lau. Okay, so here's the answer. Well, hold on. I just spit the stuff off the top of my head. So I'm trying to organize this response in a very articulate way. All right. So when I'm making an offer, do I have something that they can test drive? Right? Something that's different, something that's new, like in your niche, maybe there's a new piece of like hardware that makes you different, or that's new, or people haven't heard about. That might be something, right? Or maybe there's like whatever it is, or a self-discovery offer. So self-discovery. Now this is probably the one that would work best in your niche. Okay. Here's a question. If you were served up on the internet anywhere, a survey or a quiz, either or, which are you more likely to take?
I don't see the distinction.
You would if it was served to you in a survey. When you take a survey, the benefit of that information is for someone else. When you take a quiz, the benefit of that information is for you. Who are you more likely? Which one are you more likely to complete?
Oh, quiz is for me, a survey is for somebody else. Then it's whatever's for me.
There you go. All right. So I do this thing in my agency called the self-discovery offer. And it's for people who have neuropathy. And basically you have this HVAC camera and you shoot a picture of the person's hands or feet, and it will thermographically show you that, hey, your hand has less circulation than what it should. That person now knows something about themselves that they did not before. All right. In your space, what are the questions that people have? That's why in the solar space, a lot of times people are going around to getting like an estimate, going around to getting something else. You need to, like, I almost feel like you need to try something different. Like they want to get, how much is it going to cost for me to replace my thing?
So Sam, not to cut you off, but yeah. My problem is not consumer. My problem is not my ads to consumers.
Okay.
The problems are my ads to people buying my SaaS.
Oh,
right. And it's not even so much a problem. But what I'm trying to really wrap my brain around is right now, just like the gentleman before, I'm running into the problem where like everyone in my niche is dumb in a very nice way. You know, they're all either contractors or sales guys. There's lots of middle guys in between. You know, they lack structure. They can't follow pipelines, just normal basic business stuff. I mean, they get a lot of value out of us just by us talking to them about pipelines, which is what we're not trying to do. We're not being hired as business consultants. We're trying to SaaS this, right? So as much as you put in customized pipelines and automations and workflows and shit like that, they might not get that to begin with. And we're really thinking that UpHex is going to be great for us because it gets them what they want. It's the shortest route to cash, right? Leads, appointments. Whether or not we can get them to use it properly is the other thing. And my question was, do you think it makes sense to have them come in on a SaaS and then have a marketplace custom menu link to upgrade to get the ads? Or do you think it makes more sense to have the product have the ads to begin with? I was wondering what your thoughts were there.
I might be biased, but I think the ads is a great intro price, because for that niche, you probably sell at $497 a month, something like that, right? But then it really becomes how do you onboard them, right? How do you, because what you're doing, a lot of times people who sell SaaS, I see this all the time in the HighLevel group. They're like, dude, look at all this stuff that you get. And that's a problem in and of itself.
So this was something that I thought would be really, really great. And I still haven't built it out yet. We always have, everyone's got issues with onboarding, but the idea of not delivering the custom menu link to them until they complete regular onboarding is great. And I was in the group talking about how, trying to figure out how to do a dynamic link switch on the custom menu. I banded that because it's not my problem right now. Sales is my problem. Onboarding is the second problem. So I think that'll work well. There's no kind of way to get a call back, I think, from you guys when they've actually hooked something up, which would be useful. But in general, what I'm going to do is have them come in, run their onboarding. When they reach a certain threshold, either watching videos or whatever, sort of click off on that. And that will let my VA know to add the custom menu link for UpHex at that time. Yeah.
So the confused mind does not buy. Okay. And so you have to, you have to pick one thing and you got to go with it. Okay. For me, it's DIY ads, because in my space, there's so many, like it's such a contrast to the market. Right. So it's easy for me to sell that one thing. All right. If you are going to sell SaaS that is new to be, and by the way, what you think is new, like you said, they're dumb. I don't disagree. But dumb is all within the context of what you deal with on the day-to-day. You deal with it every day. So to you, it's like, oh, I know this stuff like nothing. All right. But, and they deal with like installing, this is how many watts, and this is how you calculate this. They probably think you're dumb if you can't figure it out. Right. So just in terms of what you deal with, you got to meet them where they're at. So for me, I'll just tell you what I do personally. I don't know if this is the right answer, but it solves a lot of our issues, a lot of our churn. When we do an onboarding, and I actually have the video. I have a video of this. You guys can tag me on all this stuff. John, tag me. I'll shoot the YouTube video into the group. But we do one onboarding call. Okay. And within that onboarding call, we play a 10-minute video, and then they set up the call. The only goal of that call is for the client to turn their ads on themselves. It's easy to do, but I want to hold their hand the first time they do it. And then 24 hours later, my team gets back on a call and they walk them through the CRM portion of the platform, because it's too much. It's like sitting down and eating the old 96er on the Great Outdoors. Remember that?
Sure do.
All right. So what we do is we do that onboarding call, one goal. Next onboarding call, another goal. Then we go by a week. And on the reason we do this one is after a week, that's when we upsell. Okay. So at upsell, the goal is, hey, you've been getting ads, or you've been getting leads. You got the CRM moving, all that stuff. You've got all that. do you guys really want to do this yourself, or do you want us to do the lead nurturing part of this? You choose. It's up to you. What does the lead nurturing part look like? Oh, well, boom. Okay. After that third call, then we just do 2 calls a month, and they're group calls, right? Hey, if you want to come in, learn it's like this. It's this. We're doing it right now, right? And sometimes we'll have like other doctors on who are having success. I just want to aggregate like the questions. You guys are all learning from each other's questions. It's the same thing we're doing right now. So that's how we do it. And the whole goal, if you sell somebody, that's exciting. If you keep them, that's magic, right? You're going to make a ton of money by stacking one person on top of the next. That's all I'm saying.
Sam, that's absolutely gold, man, because the onboarding is a huge non-monetary generating thing for these people, right? To get all that stuff configured. So if you sell them you're getting them what they want first, and then saying, oh, well, if you actually want to follow up on this stuff using, the high level, then you're going to need your setup. One last question, and I'll let you go. Thank you so much. This has been great. Inside my UpHex, I get like an error for one of the clients, and I'm wondering how does one address that? So like one of my guys said, this client has issues, and I think it's a payment thing, and it says like the account's been disabled. So if we're trying to get them to sort of manage their own situation, how do we address those kinds of things without, having to get on a screen share and again, go into their ad manager, which we're trying to avoid to begin with?
Yeah. There's good, better, best always on this stuff. Jason Wardrop told me something really smart, and he says, and again, good, better, best. He told me, amateurs try and convince everyone, experts sort and sift. Okay. So the idea is you can't take the same approach with everyone in terms of if somebody comes in and they've got all of this baggage, and some people do, like some people use their business profile or even their social media profile to go and talk about, things that we're not supposed to talk. Who cares? COVID. You can't talk about COVID on couldn't do that. You can't talk. There's things that you shouldn't be talking about because it's like a virus. Your personal profile might talk all this stuff on your personal profile. You don't think it connects to your business manager, to your ad account, to all that stuff? Yeah, it does. I don't have proof of that, but I can tell you so many times I've gone back and we're like, dude, what? Sometimes we get ad accounts unrestricted in 24 hours, it's done, right? Maybe even less. Oh, sorry. And then sometimes it's like a month. And then I'll tell my team, I'm like, go back and look at all their stuff. Go look at their personal profile, go look at and see what they said, right? We got one guy who's like talking about curing cancer on his business page with, I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm like, dude, you can't say that. I don't care if you feel like you can't say that. So good, better, best. And I have this conversation, like this is, there's no, I don't know. When I figure out a perfect business model, I'll be sure and tell you guys. But with my team, when we bring on a DIY, I tell them, I said, at some point in time, if they have like those issues and it's too much time, refer them out to somebody else, a contractor, to get them fixed and have them come back when they're ready.
So you have like a problem resolution guy for stuff like this. I should have a guy and say, hey, oh, you're in Facebook jail? Okay, that's not my thing.
Exactly.
This is the thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And just, I mean, you don't want to say that. And your support staff, if they, my support staff wants to help everybody. Right. But I'm like, you guys, how much time did you spend on 3 people this week?
Yeah.
Cut them. I don't care if I lose the money. It's not about that. And it's not about me being mean either. I don't want to have that sound callous or cold. It's like, hey, unfortunately, based on what's happening right now, we need to have somebody else take care of your account. So, was that your actual question? Did we answer your question?
You did answer the question. We're going to lump the pricing together and say we're selling that with the ads. So again, what we want, we're going to flip our onboarding on its head so that we show them the leads first and have the first call dedicated to getting them what they wanted anyway. Then we're going to follow up to show them how they can set up automation while saying this is some kind of hard shit. So would you prefer us to do it? Because that makes sense too.
Yeah. One final note on just your value ladder. You know, I think this has been this, you know, we've beat the dead horse on this one. You give somebody a product and immediately when you give them that product, you give them also a problem, right? That problem is your next opportunity. Okay. So if you give them a bunch of leads and they're awesome at following up, and they're like, don't. Okay, no problem. That's an anomaly. But if they're wanting to get better results, then there's booking bots. Maybe that's your next level. Yeah, we have the software that does it for you. Or maybe it's, you know, a call center like mine, whatever it is, right? That's your next opportunity. And we make, in terms of revenue, our done for you makes more revenue than our DIY. But our DIY feeds are done for you. And it's the easy thing to sell.
Do you guys do trials? Because we've been like split on trials.
I do a 14-day free. So I never did a trial because I had an idea in my head of what that meant. And then my partner Jake was like, let's just try it. And so we sent out an email. It was not even a webinar, just people who had been on our email list for a while. Webinar, got 10 people, 9 of them converted, like from 14-day trial to like paid user. I'm like, all right, well, let's do this. So the next webinar I did, and my webinar now for the agency is the same webinar, the same stack. And then at the end, I'm like, try it free for 14 days. That way I never have to do a demo call again.
Right.
Because that's my challenge with UpHex. I feel like it's time for me to share what I've learned the way I'm doing now. And if I'm doing this, I'm not doing that. So I was like, well, I got to figure out how to sell the agency because I don't want it to not have it. I think it's awesome. And it's, you know, so I sell it that way. Boom. Awesome. And then my team ascends it through that process.
Well, and it really works because of flipping the onboarding, you know, because that's the suck,
Yes.
right? You get somebody in for, you drop somebody in a high level. And I see a bunch of guys doing it. And sometimes I wonder how much it's really happening because I'm so close. My Facebook chi is so close to like our competitors and our friends, right? So we feel like everybody knows about all of our stuff. Maybe, who knows? But just the whole idea that once someone signs up and you dump them into a SaaS plan, even if you throttle that, it's like, what am I looking at, right? Like,
I'll give you one last piece of advice and then we'll go to the next question. Don't look that closely at your competition. Look closer at your people, right? Whenever I see an ad served to me by one of my competition, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. All they do is promise results. We'll get you this, but like we guarantee we did. It's like, oh my gosh, you're not even talking to your people, right? You're not even talking to your people. Talk to your people, ask them what they want, keep them longer, serve them, find their niches, find how you're going to build their businesses more. If you keep doing that, that's what will blow up your business. And don't look at all this other stuff because guess what? Those ads were created probably by some person who's brand new and has been looking at everyone else, right? And it's like, you don't know if that works. It's like mass confusion or whatever. Anyway, like listen to those people and then make ads off of what they're telling you. All right, let's see here.
Can I just clarify what you were saying? Just kind of recap.
Liam, right?
Yeah. Yep. So you're essentially selling UpHex, which is what I kind of pitch on my demo. Like, hey, we're going to get your ads launched. But I agree. Mistake I'm making is I'm trying to show them because I'm selling it for $897, $997 a month. I'm showing them everything all at once. So you're selling UpHex, and I can still sell them everything all at once, but just break up those calls is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, last year, a week after Christmas, I asked my kids, I'm like, what'd you guys get for Christmas? They couldn't remember anything. Kind of pissed me off a little bit, to be honest with you. Right. But it's the same, I think. One, they take it for granted. If you give it to them all right now, they take it for granted. Number two, if you give it to them in one setting, they might remember one thing, but they're not really even going to glob onto that one thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to piece and parcel it apart. You got to work with human psychology. They can bite off one bite at a time. And if you do it right, they will love you. They will love you for it. They're like, dude, nobody's ever changed my, like, educated, and they'll feel educated. Nobody's ever educated me on this part of my business. Marketing is not a part of your business that you cannot have. But most small business owners don't do it because they don't understand it. It's confusing to them. And whenever somebody delivers it to them, they're like, how many dozens of things or hundreds of things could I be doing? Why am I doing this one thing? It's not even about that. Just do the one thing, be passionate about it, deliver on it, and then deliver the next thing. Right. If I was not running UpHex, I would be building websites for people after a 3-month tenure with my program. I'd be like, hey, good news. You get a free website now. Free website. This free website. Yeah. Free website. The next year it's X, but this year I've noticed, and I would be doing that kind of stuff, right? I would be obsessed, and I am obsessed about anything I can do to deliver and keep them. Imagine if you had all of the customers you'd ever sold before, all of them. Imagine if you had all of them, they're still your customers. How much money would you be making? Churn is the enemy of every online business, churn, right? And it's not even, so when people talk about high ticket, that's kind of annoying too. Unless you're in like a natural high ticket kind of business, like for real estate, you know, where it's commissions based, whatever, that kind of makes sense. But you're always chasing the next deal unless you have a really healthy pipeline, and that kind of flows. And that's a real business. But if you're building a business like we have, your enemy, the thing you need to engineer against, is churn. All right. And then the next one was Mike.
Hey, Sam, I appreciate it. I just came across your platform yesterday. So this,
what's up, Mike? Welcome, buddy.
This Zoom has been informational from the word go, and I appreciate your time. So real quickly, I'm in the insurance, actually an insurance agent. And one of the things I'm looking at doing is marketing, obviously, for more leads, but also helping out other agents within my office as a resource, right? So taking those initial steps. But I guess my main question is do the other agents, is your platform set up to go through all of their Facebook platforms individually? I guess that's my confusion at this point.
Yeah. So do you have a HighLevel account?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm on the verge, but I'm thinking that I don't need HighLevel at this point, but I need your platform in order to run these ads successfully first. And then, as you're saying, move into the HighLevel platform that I could offer these extra resources to the agents as well.
UpHex is awesome, and you can launch ads directly from UpHex without HighLevel, but it is super duper awesome when you are able to resell it as a standalone software, and that's only possible through HighLevel. Okay. And so here's what that looks like. You get a HighLevel account. I'd encourage you to get SaaS, and there's a lot of reasons for that. So SaaS is it $497 a month?
$497. Yeah. Okay. I'm familiar with that pricing.
Okay. You get that platform, and then you embed UpHex into your HighLevel white label software. And then when the other agents go in there, they're not going to see UpHex. They're not going to see the engine that's driving all of this. They'll just go in and see the ads that they get to click on, and they get to start getting leads with. Okay. That'll protect you from having them circumvent. I mean, if you're building this stuff already, and we just uploaded a snapshot, is what it's called, snapshot in our Facebook group yesterday that helps with lead nurturing and stuff, you know. I would say get HighLevel, plug in UpHex, and then that way the people in your office that want to use it, they're using sub accounts of your software. That's what everybody in here is doing. When Liam is talking about like a VAS platform, which I've never heard of before, but it sounds legit, he's talking about selling it to other, I don't even know what niche, Liam, whatever niche he's in. What niche?
I'm doing local mattress and furniture stores.
Nope.
Amazing. Okay. So like he's going to local mattress companies and saying, hey, you need to sell your mattresses. Here's a blowout sell ad. Boom. That's all they do, right? I don't know. But they just click on it, and then now they have a marketing resource. Whereas before they would have to go to an agency or do it themselves or waste a bunch of money on advertising that they don't understand. Now they click on his, boom, it goes, and they're dialed in. So absolutely, I'd get HighLevel. You're gonna have a way better experience that way. Plug in UpHex, and then pick a couple of very, like, I talk about on my YouTube channel, and I've talked about a little bit on here too. Like, your category is not insurance.
Mhm.
Okay. That's not where you're not going to get production in leads. You're not going to get production with leads if you're speaking to a category. That's why you want to go down to the niches. And I think, I believe it's been published, but there's a video on my YouTube channel about life insurance agents that Ad Zombies, Ken Moskowitz, wrote. And it's really, really good. Like, that template right there, I would make sure that is in your UpHex library. We haven't uploaded it into the library yet. So much going on over here, you guys. But Jacob needs to redo the images. So we haven't done that yet. But the ad copy is there, and you can take whatever images you want.
Got it. Okay. That's a great starting point. I appreciate it.
You bet, Mike. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Excited to have you.